Welcome back. So there was a viral video of some students in a classroom speaking with a British accent. And some persons have said, but this is not how we sound in this part of the world. Some persons are saying that, but this is what they are teaching them in the school. So, and other people are saying that the atmosphere of the classroom and the British accent are not rhyming. But the question I would like to ask is, that accent, that insisting on getting our children, our students to speak with a British accent, is it like a loss of identity for us? Is it that we don't know who we are? Is it that we're trying to copy people who own the language? Is there any way we can take ownership of speaking properly but also retaining our culture like other people and other countries do? So the question is for you ladies, what do you think is happening when we insist? Because I used to be a classroom teacher. And sometimes the parents who come into the classes will judge the teachers based on how they sound and their accents. You hear things like, I don't want this particular teacher to be teaching my child because she has a local accent. She has a Nigerian accent. She has a Yoruba accent. She has an Igbo accent. We are paying so and so amounts so that our children can learn the British accent or the American accent, whatever is acceptable. And so they complain. And sometimes we lose out on good teachers who have good quality to give because they do not have the sopre kind of accents, and parents look down on them. So my first question would be, is it good that we allow these kids to speak with a British accent, or we allow them to speak naturally, just make sure that they are getting the intonations properly, the pronunciations, elocutions, and all those people that studied English and all those shon things properly and making sense? Or are we losing our identity if we keep insisting that you have to sound a certain way to be put in a certain class?
So from my own world view, and from the research that has been done on things like this, there is the idea of the British Empire. And there was a video I saw about this thing just this morning, that the British Empire doesn't just take your land when they do colonialism. And this was from a white person. Yeah. That they take your land and they enforce your land, and they take your mind as well. They take your life, your land and your mind, and they take your land by physical force that they enforce, but they take your mind by making you feel uncomfortable with who you naturally are. So no matter how well you speak British English, when I see you, you are black. Your hair, your look, you are black. So automatically there's a difference, the cognitive dissonance between how I see myself and what I sound like. Yeah. Then it's now worse off if you are unable to get the addiction right. So you no longer feel proud of your own native tongue and your own local language, because when you speak it and you hear people look at you, and you see people look at you and see that you're not speaking it well, you start feeling shame. Yeah. So, and they enforce it that everywhere the British Empire ruled, they speak English, language, which is different from what you should be speaking on a normal day, which is different from the language that is core to your identity. It is to trap your mind, and we are falling for it in this country.
They're not trap us, yes.
We've so fallen for it that look at the countries who have been able to go from being colonized into being successful. Yeah. They had to embrace their language. True. They embraced their wardrobe. True. In India, yes, they were colonized by the British, and they were told to wear suits, but they decided that no, in their language, yes. And so they had to go back into finding their own identity in their culture. As Nigeria is, there's plenty confusion. Yeah. We're confusing the teachers, we're confusing ourselves. We don't even know our accent anymore. Today we are speaking English with English British accents, confusing it with American accents, mumbo jumbo of everything. We are not able to have a clear identity of who we are and how we speak. Yeah. And as a people, we now begin to appreciate and celebrate those that have accents more than ourselves, even if we're smarter than them.
Yes. So that's what happens.
For me, it is all shades of wrong to have a school make you talk this. Like, it's like, this is how you now have to, like, if these children were in UK, and they're talking like this, I won't have any problem because that's all they know.
That's the environment.
That's what the environment should them to do. But this seems like we are producing, like we're manufacturing these students to talk like this so that they will be able to fit into this society that is expecting them to have this accent. No, I don't believe that is the right thing to do.
Okay,
Let them speak Nigerian
Okay,
English.
so I think we've lost our identity to a large extent when it comes to things like this, because I know of a friend. She just stepped her foot in this thing, London, and immediately by the next day, I said, why is it like chicken? She go, wouldn't know. As in, it's not now that
when did you buy this accent?
When, you know. So the truth here is this: people that speak those kind of that kind of English, we've already termed them as people who are very intelligent because they speak. You now be like, this one is
even
very,
if it's nonsense that's coming
when
out.
they start talking, it's attractive. So once they start talking, you want to listen to whatever they're going to say, because already they have made us feel that, you know, this accent is very important to us. And look at the schools. The schools that teach this teaching this British accent, they are so expensive. It's not everybody that can afford it.
Yeah.
I know one of my friends that opened a school. She was charging small amount of money. Come and bring your child and all of that. She was not having good turnout. Somebody now advised her and said, go to Turkey and bring one person that knows how to speak British English. You can do Oyibo, this thing. And the minute she brought that person, the person stays at the front desk. So when the parents come, good morning, welcome,
good morning.
They will not give you small tea. How about the parents just went. She increased her fee. You know, she was collecting, let's say 50K. She increased her fees to 150,000. And before you could say Jack, a lot of people started bringing their kids. Because everybody wants to talk. So that front desk lady, because she speaks the British kind of English, accent, you understand, she has the accent. So they believe that all the teachers in the class will teach their children down. So now they will now see that the kids will come and talk about English. Talk about English with thick accent. We are not even teaching our kids our own mother tongue, and it's really, really, you know, it's something else. It's not nice. I know of one, and also let me say this.
So is that school still thriving?
It's thriving. She has increased her fees. Her fees
again.
Now, yeah, she has increased her fees to now 200K. Now people are bringing their kids now.
Whoa.
When you come, good morning.
The front desk person is still there.
She's still there speaking. Turenching as in Baturia, serious one.
Jeez.
She will just and they'll give you tea. Drink. Whether in hot season or whether cold though, they'll give you tea.
Drink tea?
Yes, as far as
excuse me.
And that's it. And she's having good turnout.
I've laughed too much now. You should be a comedian. Amaka, let's come to you. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we've lost our parity
as a people.
And it's so sad. Let's grassroots. Let's come back small. How many languages do we even have in Nigeria? We've not even tried to get a uniform language for ourselves as a people. Even though we said Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, still there's still plenty full language, plenty. We've never finished with that one. We now still want to go and borrow extra. The priority of a parent when training a child, or anybody that wants to bring up a child, should be that the child can speak proper English, like you said, elocutions pronounced properly. Which one is this accent thing? Is a problem. We always say that the people, British people colonized, want to speak like them and kiniko. Scotland is in the United Kingdom. The Irish people, they are their neighbors. I went to school. I went to University of Aberdeen. You don't see the Scottish man
speak
British English.
Never.
They have when you hear a Scottish man, you know it's a Scottish man. Yeah. It is his identity.
Their pride.
It is their pride, their culture. When they are scared, I just can't remember what's called now. Their outfit, See, they don't joke. They don't joke with it. Play their piper. They don't joke with their culture. Drinking their beer. They've not lost their identity. They are part of the United Kingdom. You go to Ireland. They are who they are. You can't hear them try to speak like somebody else. They're you that is in Nigeria. Because when I even watched the video the classroom and the accent, the thing was clashing in my mind. Like I said, what's going on here? No match. What are people trying to achieve? What are you teaching? And see, this takes me back to what Mariah always says about that we need to rebrand ourselves as a nation. You know why? This problem is still part of the media problem. Because you find out that you want to be part of the media, and they want to interview you. You're looking for, let's call ourselves out.
Yes.
They were looking for people that have accents to employ. You go to the radio stations. I turn on my radio as I'm driving in the morning. What am I hearing? Supreme. No. I want, my voice is my identity. Even if you can't see me, and you hear my voice on your View TVC, you know it is Amaka or Rakwe that is speaking.
True.
If I'm passing anywhere and I'm speaking, you will just say, I think that sounds like Amaka or Rakwe. Your voice is your identity. Don't let anybody trick you. And I'm as intelligent as can be.
Very.
Do you understand? So it's important to say your voice, your accent is your identity. Don't lose it for anybody. It's your vaccine.
My darling. So, how we rate ourselves, and that's why we're having this conversation, so that some of these things will change. When you walk into a place and somebody has this British or American accent, everybody just wants to pander to the person. They want to give you that respect because we don't know who we are. We don't know where we're coming from. We've lost our identity. And a lot of people lost out on things that they were very good at just because they didn't have that accent. So you know how we're raising kids. Me, I did not pay attention to certain things, but I had friends around me who were raising their kids and they were intentional about how the children will speak and all of that. I didn't have that opportunity, even though I was a teacher, because I didn't pay attention to how my children will speak. I just know that I speak to them at home, they speak in class. When they come, they'll be fine. And I now gave birth to children who are very kinesthetic. They don't sit to watch TV. My kids, none of them, the three of them, they jump around. So they don't watch cartoon. They did not pick up on the accent, right? They speak normal. And most times they are with grandma and grandpa. When I'm going for my acting stuff, I drop them with grandma and grandpa. And grandma and grandpa would speak normally. And so they have the Nigerian accent, right? And at some point, I started feeling bad, like, my children don't have Oyibo accent.
Are you serious?
It happened. I felt bad. But after a while, I realized that, but you, Seth, you don't have Oyibo accent and you're good. And the fact that I also did not give them Oyibo names. They don't have Oyibo names. My children, because it's not Choco, you hear all the Igbotic names. That's the name they have. Then, when they started traveling, and kids can easily pick up languages. And I remember hearing them talk to their friends from time to time, and they switch on the accents. They can do it. I didn't even know they can do it, but that's not how they converse at home. But when they're talking to some of their friends, they switch it on, they switch it off. Even the last vacation we did in the US, by the time my daughter came back, it took her 3 months to finally lose the accent. Yes, because she switched. She was just with her cousins every day. So she switched on the American accent and all that. And I now told my son one day, after some friends came to visit and they left, and I said, why don't you sound like them? He said, why do I need to sound like them?
That's good. That's confident.
I felt good. Initially I was like, but when I now thought about it, I said, this is a boy that knows himself. He doesn't need to have that sort of accent to be who he is. He's intelligent, he's good, he's hardworking, whatever it is. So we need to begin to speak to ourselves. What do we want as a people? The Indians don't use any accent. No matter how or where you are born as an Indian, you have your local accent. I don't know how they achieve it, because you see them in the US, you see them in the UK, you see them in those countries, but when they open their mouth and talk, they're Indians. And I think it's something they do deliberately at home to ensure that they sound that way with their children. But let's come back to us. How do we begin to reorient ourselves to understand?
Let me just speak in defense of our spray people.
Before you defend our spray people, let's take a short break. When we come back, talk while we go ahead and defend the spray people. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.